All right, guys, this is Dr. Harvey. I'm here because I have just graded your submissions for sources, and it really disturbs me that the sources, majority of the sources were not actual sources. This was the point of me doing a video for you guys with the first paper and doing 80 to 90% of that first paper for you, was so that you learn what a source is. And I had the same problems with 90% of the papers, the sources that I've graded so far for one of my classes. So much so that I just started cutting and pasting. See, check it out. Here are the problems, guys. In section 1, you will not get any credit for section 1 if you do not cite the actual law. I'm not looking for a secondary website. Secondary source is not the source. The law is you cite the law. Websites with no author and no date are not sources, and a lot of you guys are going the ND route and then putting the date as the date you retrieved it. The date you retrieved it is not the date that it was written. If it has no author and no date, it is not a source, guys. So I'm telling you that right now. We should know that already. We are 75% through our papers. Also, sources with no author and no date are suspicious. Try to use scholarly sources. What's most important for me for you guys to know is what gets you credit and what does not give you credit. Let me go ahead and pull up something real quick too. So I make sure that you guys, here's our templates right here. You guys know exactly what I want in each section. The marijuana law paper is a little bit trickier. So let me just go through that one with you too. While this loads, let's go through some more common errors that I had, some problems that I found. Yes, that's for section 1. You're not going to get any you're not going to get any credit for section 1 unless you cite the actual code. Now, people have been asking, do you want possession or distribution? Basically, I just need to know it's illegal and that the penalties differ based on how much you have. You obviously can't distribute something that you don't possess. And the reason why having more of it is considered more of a crime is because they assume an intent to sell with that. So I'm not looking for your section 1 to include everything. When it came to the death penalty paper, y'all, I did. I expected you to include the, I believe there are 9 provisions, 9 capital crimes. I expected you to include that. When it came to the stand your ground paper that we did together, I expected, well, I did that one for you, but you notice that I put what the provisions of the law are. When you are exempt from prosecution and when you are not. In this one, you don't have to go overboard. I just need to know marijuana is illegal in Texas unless you might want to throw in there that we have the Compassionate Use Act. But the main thing I'm looking for here is it's illegal, and you have to give me enough detail so I can tell that you are not doing it halfway. You got to put some effort into this. If you just say marijuana is illegal and the penalties differ based on how much you have, that is a single sentence. Do a little bit more than that. Guys, just use some common sense and don't give me something that you just, pulled out of nowhere. That's how you were graded on that. Do you have the content? Do you give me enough information? Also, this is a big one. If I rejected your paper, I rejected your paper because you didn't use the template or you exceeded the plagiarism threshold so much that I could not give you credit for something I couldn't determine what is yours and what is not yours. The threshold, guys, is 20%. Now, this does not include the bibliography, and it does not include the template, because you have to use your template. I reject papers that are not spell checked. I reject papers that are not cited. You need a citation in text and a matching citation in the bibliography. And I reject papers that are too plagiarized. I cannot give you credit for something that you did not do. Cutting and pasting quotes, even if you put quotes around it, you will exceed that 20%. Also, that's plagiarism because it's lazy. I don't want a patchwork of other people's quotes. You've got to tell me what was said in your own words. If you keep cutting and pasting, you will exceed that 20% and I will reject your paper. So a lot of you on the message board, which by the way is completely inappropriate, grades should be handled privately via email, said, I got a 0. Well, I told you specifically why you did if you did. What I took away and why is in GradeMark. And also you can look at the originality report and see what's going on there. Keep in mind also, sources that are too old, Texas law changes every 2 years. Not everything changes every time, but if you have a source that's over 2 years old when you're citing the Texas law, then it might be suspicious. If you say, you know, this is as it is today, well, you don't know unless it's a really recent source. So you might want to say, as of a certain date, this is what the law said and didn't say. And Texas law is what it is. But when you're talking about like Section 4, we're talking about comparing Texas to other states, make sure you say as of, or you could be incorrect. Now let's go into that template, guys. I'm going to pause this while it pulls up so you guys don't have to wait. Here we go, guys. So, summarize the current Texas law on the topic. This is not your opinion, but what the policy actually states using proper citations in APA style. We know this needs to be the actual law. You cite the law. And you summarize it. With this, it does not have to be that lengthy, but you have to give me enough, guys. I'm not trying to be ambiguous. One sentence is typically not a paragraph. So, rationale and intent for Texas policy. When it comes to marijuana, I get that this is a little difficult. This is the part where a lot of people cite the origins of the law. A lot of people claim that the law has racist origins. Just type in Google, why do we have laws against marijuana, and see what you get. The reason why is because it's a psychoactive, I'm going to give you a reason here, and you can find a source to say this. It's a psychoactive substance, and people are afraid of addiction and things of that nature and health issues. So that's what goes here. Now, here's what's confusing, guys. Consequences of Texas policy. You think consequences, you think the law. Like, what is the consequence if you get caught with this much? What is the consequence if you get caught with this much? Guys, remember, consequences are how is Texas different because we have the law? Ways Texas is different because we have the law is that our jails are full of people that are only in jail because of the law, that we spend so much money locking people up because of it. It could be that we have less, because it's illegal here and it's legal somewhere else, we have less addiction than another state. I don't know. But the consequences of the policy are the same as, this section is the same as the tutorial I did for you for the first paper and your section for your second paper, your death penalty paper. What are the consequences of the death penalty? It costs this much. Is it a deterrent? So you guys know how to do this. I don't want in this section, and I'm telling you right now, I don't want you telling me how much jail time, how much fine, how much someone is fined. That is not, that's the description. That's something that would go in the introduction if I were asking for that much. I'm not. Consequences of Texas policy is, does the policy fulfill its intended objective of keeping people from being addicted, from keeping less product on the street, from keeping people from crashing cars or whatever it's supposed to stop them from doing? Answer the question in here. Also, are there any negative outcomes from having marijuana illegal? So you guys know what I need. It's 20 points in this section, positive and negative outcomes. Obviously, being jailed is not a positive consequence, is it? So you know that that's not the right answer for that. So Texas policy compared to other states. Make sure, guys, in this section, you do as of this date, and make sure it's a recent source. So many other states have laws similar to Texas. Here are some states that do not have laws similar to Texas: Colorado, California, etc. And then conclusion is the same. You know exactly how to do that. If you do not have a citation in every section, you should have actually more than one in some sections. You should have at least a positive and a negative here. And those citations do not match your work cited, that will fail you. If your plagiarism exceeds 20%, not including the bibliography, so I don't count your citations against you. Or I don't count the template, because of course the template's going to be identical for every student. But if you go into GradeMark, you will see that it underlines in particular colors what was taken from where. And if I follow that link, I can see, yeah, you did not reword this. And I will not give you credit for something you did not write yourself. I don't want someone else's writing. I want your writing. So I hope this answers a bunch of questions you guys are having. I'm getting a bunch of questions by email. I'm trying to answer those as soon as possible. I'm also trying to regrade people who resubmitted papers that they were not happy with on the death penalty before this paper is due. So I'm absolutely swamped, but I'll get to your questions as soon as I can, okay? If you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. All righty. Have a good week, guys. Bye.